Good morning and welcome back to the Adventures of Mac and Anthea. We're back down at the farm. It's been a while since we've been down here. There's not really a great deal to do here in winter up until sort of November when the olive season starts. That along with the fact that we've been busy back at home. I've been doing some work on the van. Anthea's been cleaning up an old wood burning stove for me, ready for me to respray and sell. So we've been busy with other stuff. But unfortunately, and as so often is the case on off-gridding, we've got to the point now where something else needs more urgently doing. I haven't finished the van, Anthea hasn't finished the stove, but we're going to have to knock off doing that and get down the farm here and sort out this problem. Namely, the olives. So as you can see, the olives have done really well this year. There's absolutely full of them. But unfortunately, we've ended up with a lot of them on the ground. The storm that you've probably read about or heard about on the news, which hit Andalusia, hit us. There's various bits of damage you can see here, a sinkhole here. It's torn the bank away there, and it's also washed off and knocked off a lot of the olives. Now, Anthea's been down here. She's tried to, pick them up off the floor, but she's found what she's doing. She's leaning under the trees to pick them up, and she's knocking the branches, and a load more falling off around her ears, so that's not really been a great success. Then we had a bit more of a rainstorm, which knocked even more off. So we're going to sort of have a replan. What we plan to do is sort of try and sweep these olives back underneath the tree here. We're going to get the lower branches sort of here, like these here, which is down on the ground, get the buckets underneath them and get the weight off them so they lift off the ground. And then we're going to run along, get the nets underneath the trees. This will be the first year we use the nets because there's actually enough on them to warrant using the nets, and they're getting high enough also. Get the nets underneath, knock all the olives off, and then what we'll do after we've got the nets up is get the olives that have actually fallen down, into these wells here underneath, get them up afterwards, hopefully, if we haven't squashed them too much. Now, down the bottom here is like I said, it's been really good this year. We're getting plenty of fertiliser, and they've done really well. Up the top is a bit of a different story. So I think what we'll do in a minute, before we get started, Anthea's already started setting up, and that is we'll quickly jump up top and have a quick look up there. Okay, so we're up at the top level. The bottom level is sort of, see if I can see below. It's sort of just down the bottom there, so quite a way down. Obviously the water doesn't flow over this that fast, so we won't have that much damage. But needless to say, it's been a bit of a disaster up here this year. I'll just quickly spin you around. So these trees, if you can see, have hardly got anything on them. They did pretty well last year. I'm putting this down to, we had quite strong winds coming from the northwest, sort of that direction, across here, and this is high up and exposed compared to the lower levels. And I think what happened in the early stages of blossoming, even though these are self-pollinating, these trees, I think in the early stage it blew most of the blossom off. It never even got a chance to cross-pollinate, and therefore, the olives have suffered because of it. You see there's a few on here on one side of it. But yeah, there's really very little. There's lots of trees which are just empty, which is a shame because these did really well last year. Incidentally, these ones are about 4 years old. The trees down the bottom are 5 years old. There's a year between them from when we planted them out. Now, it's no great disaster here. As you can see, they're not huge trees. We've planted these as a future sort of investment, something to give us something to do when we're older, in our 60s. Stops us, from vegetating, and also to make us a bit of money. And it doesn't have to be a lot of money. We've got no mortgage, we've got solar, we've got water rights. We can live fairly well on €500. We can live fairly well on €500 a month here. So we don't really need to make a lot of money out of these. Okay, so I think that's enough chit-chat from me. I'm going to go and grab the cameras, go and grab all the kit, get down the bottom, and we'll start getting olives off trees. Okay, so I'm back down the bottom again. Anthony's been having a clear up. Are you ready for this?
Kind of.
Okay, so we're going to start on this row over here. Just let me spin you around. Yeah, we're just going to start on this row here, get the lower ones out, which there isn't actually too many here, and then get the nets down and start getting these off the trees. Okay, so that's the end of the first row. Just want to point out, you know, at this stage of doing this harvesting here, I have actually been on a harvesting gang before. One of my customers who I do digger work for was actually short of guys one year, and I actually joined his gang and harvested loads of trees. We turned about 90,000 kilos of olives in. Probably some of the hardest work I've ever done, and that's come from somebody who spent a lot of his life actually working in the building trade. So yeah, really hard work. Now, one of the tips for the nets which I learnt is you don't want to be emptying the nets every 2 minutes. What you do is you keep dragging those nets onto the next tree or over to the next line and keep doing that until two of you can no longer drag that net any longer and it's that heavy, and that's when you empty the buckets. The reason for that is it's sort of a economy of motion. You know, if you empty in the buckets, it's quite disruptive to the flow of everything. And if you don't empty into the buckets, it's quite time consuming. If you're doing that every 2 minutes, then it really, you know, cuts down the speed that you can actually harvest the olives. And of course, speed is everything because there's not a lot of money in it. So yeah, you need to be able to work fast, you know, and as efficiently as you possibly can to even make any money at it. Another little top tip here, if you're actually planting olive trees out, I learnt this afterwards, but I've used here piqual, which are good. They're a good all-round tree and they're easy to harvest. Some other trees like arbequina and Oliva de Pais, which is the old country olives, are really quite hard to harvest. Now, of course, the advantage of that is when you get high winds, you're not having the problems that we've got here where we've lost a lot to the ground. But yeah, on the whole, piqual's a better breed. But if you want to get the maximum out of your crops, you need to plant probably in each row of trees a different breed of tree. Because even though these self-pollinate, obviously it turns out probably incest isn't a good thing in trees either, and it can stifle their production a little bit. If you put a different breed of tree in, so that at least cross-pollinates a bit with the piqual, something like an Aja Blanco or a Manzanilla in every row, that'll cross-pollinate and it'll boost your yield. Okay, so I think what we're going to do then, we're going to get on with the next row. Okay, so that's us done for today. It's 2 o'clock. Anybody who follows the channel will know that we do our physical work in the morning and then our internet work in the afternoon. I've had enough. Anthea's had enough. Might not look like hard work, just picking olives off the trees, but I can assure you it is. Tomorrow we'll be back here. We'll do the last 2 rows. We've finished these 2 rows. We've just got those 2 rows with about 7 trees behind us, but they've got the most on them. So yeah, there's a quite heavy load. Quick spinning around just to show you what we've got for today and then what's in the bucket, and then we'll call it a day and we'll bring you back in tomorrow. Okay, that's a pile from in one net, and that's a pile in the other net. I can see now straight away we've probably got more here than we did in the whole of last year. But which is good going. But anyway, we'll not really know until we weigh them at the factory. Good morning and welcome back to day 2 of olive picking. So yesterday we made the start on harvesting the olives. We've done nearly all but 7 of the 26 olives we've got on this level. So these last 7 we're going to do, they're quite heavily laden with fruit, which is a good thing, but means obviously a little bit more work. We're going to try and get these done this morning and then see if we can get on up top and do the few olives that are on the trees up there, which unfortunately haven't done particularly well this year. Okay, so we finished those 7 trees. We did quite well out of them. It's just about to hit 1 o'clock and we're going to knock off because we've got a few things we've got to run around and do before everything turns into a pumpkin at 2 o'clock here in Spain, when everything just closes down for a couple of hours. So we're going to get a few jobs done, get some more sacks for these olives. Good morning and welcome back to day 3 of olive picking. The wind's got up overnight and we're feeling damn pleased that we got those olives all finished down here yesterday. Otherwise we would have been back picking them up off the floor again on our hands and knees. So we're really pleased about that. Nevertheless, we've all got the unenviable task this morning of getting the olives up the incline back up to the top. Now, last year for some reason and the same thing this year, we haven't got access to the dumper. Normally it's the sort of thing we just dump the sacks in the dumper and reverse it up there, no problem at all. But I started doing a bit of digger work, digging up a road. The actual digger seals have failed, so I've got to repair them, and actually the dumper's trapped on a different part of the land. So yeah, we're not going to be able to use the dumper again this year, and this is a horrible shock to the system, trying to wheel these sacks up this slope first thing in the morning. Nevertheless, we'll give it a go. I bought the sack trolley to see if that's any easier than the wheelbarrow, and I think instead of trying to take too many up at a time, I'm just going to take one sack up at a time and see how we get on. Okay, so this is what we've got to get up. We've got quite a bit more than last year. We'll know obviously at the end how much we've got, but yeah, we've got to try and lug these up, and three of these sacks are pretty big, and the other sacks, you know, not exactly small. I think Anthea will have a go probably with the wheelbarrow with the smaller sack, and I'll have a go with the sack trolley and see how we get on. No, I don't think. Don't strain yourself. Okay. Okay, so we're off to the olive factory again, and it doesn't seem a year since we were last doing this, and we're back to playing our usual game. What's the weight going to be? So today I'm going to guess that we've got between 120 and 125 kilos of olives. So what do you guess, Anthea?
But I'd say 130 to 135.
Okay, let's see what happens. Again. Oh, we've gone a roundabout now, look. Okay, so how much did you say?
130 to 105.
146.
Woohoo!
So you win this year.
Yay! Good, because I picked those from off the floor.
Okay, and so that brings us to the end of olive picking for 2024. For those of you out there interested on the sort of kilo to litre ratio, 100 kilos of olives normally equals about 20 litres of oil. That's 20 litres to you. That isn't what they actually extract from it, because obviously they keep some of it for themselves for actually, you know, doing all the work. We talk about it in those terms as in, you know, 100 kilos and 20 litres, as opposed to, say, you know, 25 kilos and 5 litres, because when you claim and go and collect your oil, it comes in a box of 5 litre bottles. So yeah, we just say basically that 100 kilos is one box. Also, I don't know how it is at other olive factories and that, but our olive factory, you can actually take it in cash as well. You don't have to take it in oil. Last year I took it in oil, and I've been trying to sell it in Facebook and had all the usual problems you have with trying to sell anything to anybody on Facebook. And I think probably this year I will take the cash rather than have all the mess in. So I think all that remains is to thank you for watching. Please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.